Hello and welcome to Cut Through the Noise, the podcast that helps business leaders increase sales through clearer, smarter communications and marketing that elevates your brand. I'm Aisling O'Rourke, the communications coach, and she is Juno, my teammate in arms here in the Cut Through the Noise studio space. Now, if you've been listening to the last couple of episodes of Cut Through the Noise, I hope that you've already started thinking a little bit differently about AI and how you are using it as part of your communications strategy. We've moved on from the hype, and instead we've talked about setting the ground rules, creating workflows, and we've even explored how AI agents can help us with Roisin Bennett of the AI team. But today I want to focus in on one of the biggest hesitations that I'm hearing in my work with my clients. And it's coming up quite frequently. Aisling, I don't want to sound like everyone else. Or a little bit more blunt. Aisling, I don't want my content to sound like it was written by AI. And if you're thinking like that, you're absolutely right to be concerned. Because let's be honest, we've all seen it. The polished but generic, slightly bland content that could belong to anybody. It looks fine, but it says very little. And more importantly, it doesn't sound like a real person. It doesn't sound like you. It's not authentic. So today, I want to show you how to use AI to create content faster and more consistently, but to do so without losing your voice and your personality or your point of view. So I'm going to start with a simple truth. AI is not going to create your tone of voice for you. You have to do that hard work yourself. You have to know what you want to sound like, what tone you would like to use in your writing. And you do need to have some form of brand voice in mind. AI, though, can support it, can help you shape it, and it can help you reorganize things. But it will never replace your voice. And I would urge you to ensure that it never replaces your voice. Most of the time when people look at AI-generated content and say that it sounds robotic or it reads like a robot wrote it, it's not actually because the AI tool is an issue, it's because of how it's being used. So today I want to help you fix that particular problem if that's been your experience. So the first shift that I want you to make is this. Stop asking AI to create content from nothing. And we've been talking about this consistently here on the podcast. And it is where most people go wrong, which is why I'm still talking about it. Frequently, what I'm seeing is that people are randomly choosing an AI tool. They're opening up the chat box. They're typing in something generic about write me a LinkedIn post about communication skills. Now, if you stand back and actually think about that for a second, what are you actually giving it? There's no context, there's no personality, there's no experience, there's no opinion. There's no problem that you want to address in this particular LinkedIn post. Like, communications is a vast topic. It's why I'm able to have an entire podcast about it and not run out of things to talk about. So if you do something like that, it's only natural that the output will be generic because you've asked for something generic. It's a bit like when I have customers coming to me and at the very beginning they say, look, my messaging, it's just not resonating with my audience. The audience aren't getting it. The problem isn't actually with the audience, it's with the actual message. And the same thinking has to be used with AI. What I want you to do is to start off with something real. That might be a voice note, a rough idea, a story or an experience from your past couple of days, a conversation that you had with a client, a frustration that you've been experiencing and you want to talk about it, a question you've been asked by a client, by a colleague, even a member of the family. Something that actually comes from you, something based on your lived experience. And then you can bring in AI to help you shape it. For example, you might say, I want to start writing more about communications specifically about X, and here are my rough thoughts. Help me turn this into a clear LinkedIn post in my tone of voice. Ask me any clarifying questions you need in order to complete this task. So here, you're not actually asking AI to write for you or to invent ideas for you. You're giving it all the information. You're just asking it to tidy it up for you. You're just asking for a helping hand, a bit of support. And that's a completely different use case. If you're listening to this episode and are beginning to realize that actually in your business, communications is one of those areas of your business that is getting pushed further and further down the priority list, well, you might enjoy the Clarity Collective. It's my monthly mastermind designed for independent business owners who want to communicate more consistently, market themselves more effectively, and stop reinventing the wheel every time they sit down to create new content. We talk strategy, visibility, systems, and practical implementation, including how AI tools can support what you are already doing. You can find all the details at thecommunicationscoach.ie. And now back to today's episode. Now, the second shift that I'm going to ask you to take today is about training how AI tools can support what you are already doing. You can find all the details at thecommunication. I'm going to ask you to take today is about training AI to sound like you. And in the first episode, listen to that episode if you did miss out on that. I'll ask my lovely editor, Amanda, to include a link in the show notes as well. And tell it that this is what I want you to use as an example when you are thinking about the tone of voice that you want to use. Gave it examples of a lot of written work that I've done, news articles, LinkedIn posts, even some essays. And that doesn't require any technical expertise, okay? You just go into your settings, you look for the option in your particular AI tool. They will all be slightly different, but you're looking for the option to add context. And that's really important. Give it your examples and let it work off of those. Okay. Another thing that I could give it nowadays, if I was updating it, which I do intend on doing over the summer months, is to use some transcripts from this podcast to help it understand how I talk. Because the beauty of using a voice note or a transcript of a podcast episode is it's completely authentically me. I'm just talking into a microphone the way I would do any day. Then you're telling the AI tool, this is how I normally communicate. Please match this tone. Because otherwise, AI will default to neutral. And neutral is where bland comes from. Neutral and bland are best friends, but we don't like them. And this is something that I, again and again, am looking at myself. If I'm working on content, I'll often paste something in I've already written and use that as a reference point. And the difference in the output, it really is immediate because you have to give it some context as to what you want it to sound like. It feels more like me, sounds more like me, and it requires far less editing afterwards. The third shift is the one that surprises people the most, I think. And that's where frequently I don't ask for a finished version because in my line of work, the finished version as far as ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot or Gemini is concerned is never the finished item as far as I'm concerned. So instead of asking for one LinkedIn post, one Instagram caption, I'm asking for options. I'm asking for 3 variations, 3 alternative openings, shorter and longer versions. And that gets my creative juices flowing. Then I'm looking at it and going, yeah, that's a good idea. That's an interesting way of putting what I said in that voice note together. Okay, great. And then I work from there. And I do heavy editing. I will rewrite frequently. You see, AI for me, it's just a tool. I'm never allowing it write for me. And it depends how deeply you want to go into this and how much of that editing process you want to get involved in. But the more context you can provide the AI tool, the better the outputs you are going to receive, the happier you will be with the content that you're creating. It's all about shaping something that already exists, not asking it to invent something brand new. And that's why when I'm using AI to write for me, I don't lose my voice. I make the choices. I'm still involved. I'm still writing it. I'm still editing it. And I will say, no, I wouldn't ever say that. Improve that. That doesn't work for me. And this is where a lot of people are using the voice chat functions with these AI tools and are having, in inverted commas, actual conversations with their AI tool. Because for a lot of us, that's just much easier than having to engage the part of our brain that types these things out. But that process helps you create really strong content. Now, I really want you to take in what I'm about to say. And this is very important. Your lived experience, your way of communicating is still the most valuable thing that you own. AI can help you structure content. It can save time. Absolutely, no questions about it. It can also help you stay consistent, which is really, really important. But it's never going to replace your lived experience, your stories, your client interactions, your perspective and your judgment. It would, all of these tech bros that we're seeing on social media, comment here and I'll give you the cheat sheet for this. And, if you're using AI to do this, you're doing it wrong and all that sort of nonsense. Because that's where the AI slop is coming from people who are not exercising their own judgment, their own editorial skills and their own perspective. They're relying on AI to come up with the ideas for you instead of getting AI to help you expand on the idea and the context that's already there. So if your content is feeling flat, bland, neutral, whatever word you want to use, it's not an AI issue, it's a depth issue. There's not enough of you in it. This series is designed to help you think differently about AI and how you're using it as part of your communication strategy. And I do hope that we've been helping you do just that. So today's action steps are around exercising your judgment, giving the AI tool context, edit the best parts, refine the language, and insert more of you into the content that you're getting your AI assistant to generate for you. If you'd like to do more of this work in a supportive, structured and community environment, you can book a discovery call with me today to explore the Clarity Collective. It's a no pressure call, just a conversation about how I might best support you through our communications mastermind that meets each and every month. You can email me on hello@thecommunicationscoach.ie, visit thecommunicationscoach.ie, or check out the links in the show notes below. Thanks very much, Amanda. And I would be happy to have that chat with you to see how best we can figure these things out for you. Thank you for listening to Cut Through the Noise, particularly thanks to all of you who have consistently supported the podcast since we launched a number of years ago. It's hard to believe that this is the 13th series of Cut Through the Noise. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do write a comment on your preferred podcast app to help that podcast algorithm know that we exist and share it with a broader audience. And even you can please do share this episode with a friend or a colleague that you feel will benefit from what we've been discussing here today. Thank you for listening. I know it's a noisy world, but clear, confident and authentic communication will help you and your brand stand out from the crowd and cut through the noise. And that's what we're here to help you do. Stay safe, have a great week, and keep tuning in to Cut Through the Noise.